I have a question for Jagmeet, but I don't want to come across as rude. Can I ask?
Yes, go for it, man.
This comes from a good place. Okay, so whenever I went to vote, or I was trying to learn about politics, when I still lived in Canada, I was looking at the results, right? And there was like blue, red, and orange had very few votes. Why?
I want to figure that out myself. we're like the orange is we're the NDP. We are the party that is kind of we're the most progressive, but we're not the establishment. So most of the time in the history of Canada, it's either been the Liberals or the Conservatives who form government. We're kind of like the working parties, the working families party in the States. I don't know, I would say that we're the true progressives of Canada. And
so it's newer.
So we are newer. Thus, the new Democratic Party. Yeah,
which means that it would take more time to get traction.
I think so. One of our leaders, the last one or the one before the last one, came really close. Got to what's called official opposition. Yeah, Jack Layton. Yeah, he came really close to becoming prime minister.
He was awesome.
So yeah, he was pretty awesome. So I'm hoping I can carry on that legacy and build some. Some support, hopefully off of social media and maybe Twitch voters, if these folks can come and vote for me.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be not nice. I'm gonna be not nice about. Wait, can I have a moment to be not as nice as Jagmeet? Okay, so in my opinion, and I probably have a little bit more liberty to say things like this. I think that the Liberals, Justin Trudeau's party, oftentimes basically hug the NDP to make themselves look more progressive, and the Liberals are still, of course, progressive in that circumstance. They're more progressive than the Conservatives are, but they make themselves seem progressive, and therefore they become the majority party, or they become the larger. They take a larger share of the progressive vote because people tactically vote in Canada. So even if there are NDP supporters, they end up voting for the Liberals, for Justin Trudeau's party, specifically so that they don't lose to the Conservatives.
100%,
so there's vote
100%.
splitting.
We've also we formed government in like our states or provinces they're called in Canada. So we've formed government a bunch of times in provinces, and we've done really cool things like brought in public insurance. So not just public healthcare, but the insurance for when you're driving your car is fully public. So it's the cheapest anywhere in Canada. Yeah. So it's super dope. So that's something that a part of our legacy. So the insurance that you rely on is public. It's owned by the state, and meaning that it's super affordable. And when it makes a profit, the public auto insurance actually sends a check back to the people. So Manitoba, one of the provinces. Yeah, so they send a check back and saying, hey, this year we did really well. We actually have more than enough cash reserve. So they send money back to everybody. They'll send them a check out. Totally super cool stuff. Oh yeah.
See, here's the thing. It's so funny because between having public insurance, y'all being able to go to the doctor without going bankrupt. I want to learn more about your COVID response, but what's so surprising to me is that I'm here in New York City. Toronto is just a day's drive.
100%. I drive all the time, 8 hours. Yeah,
and it's all these folks are. When we propose similar policies in the United States, people are saying this is impossible. This is Candyland. This is not viable, and you can literally drive one day. You can drive one day and or just a couple hours. In some places, Michigan and other places that are much closer, it's just a stone's throw away from being able to afford your insulin or be able to have public health insurance, get a check back. But there's so much scaremongering around socialism in the United States that this is why we can't have nice things.
Totally. Listen, I went through these ups and downs in my life financially. My dad was really successful as a doctor, but then he went through the struggle with addiction. So he lost his practice. We went bankrupt. We lost our home. So we had good access to finances and bad access. But despite that, when I was competing in martial arts, I tore my knee and had an ACL full reconstruction surgery, which would have cost probably hundreds of thousands of dollars in the States.
Oh yeah.
All covered, all free. I had follow-up meniscus surgeries, like 3 of them. My knee is super solid now. I can snowboard and like do martial arts again. All of that was done, and I paid $0 out of pocket.
You know, what's interesting? I had the exact same thing. I had all this what you just said, except my knee doesn't work right now. But it just kind of it kind of tore again. But I had the exact same thing happen.
Yeah, it's wild. Like I literally have this world class, the best of the best healthcare, and I did not spend any money on it because we all pooled our resources and take care of each other, and it works amazingly. Like it's amazing.
Can I also add though that the NDP are the only ones who are fighting for pharmacare and dental care in Canada, which we do not have. So those are very necessary things as well.
Yeah. So Alex, that's the next thing we want to do is we want to bring in medication coverage for everyone. So that's like our next big step. So we're trying to say we should. Yeah. Actually, I can leak a little thing. We're going to be talking about this next week, but we also want to publicly be able to manufacture vaccines and other medication. So yeah. Because it's like kind of one of those things that it's really speaks to the sovereignty of your country if you can produce them yourself. So we want to, we're going to start floating this idea next week.
Yeah, I mean, there are mechanisms.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, this is crazy. Breaking news.
There are mechanisms by which this is possible in the United States as well. And actually, when we talk about healthcare, our Medicare for All proposal in the United States, it is universal guaranteed healthcare that also includes, prescription. So it would include a pharmacare type of proposal. It also includes dental, but there are other proposals as well. Like there's another Congressman, Lloyd Doggett. He has a proposal also kind of focused on big pharma, where essentially if you use your patent to abuse and essentially like profiteer past a certain amount, it would essentially make the patent available for nationalization as like an extremely harsh punishment for charging what a lot of big pharma companies do, where they charge thousands and thousands of dollars, above what the margin is, and they essentially profiteer off of people's desire to live, essentially.
100%. They profiteer off of people's pain, big time.
Crazy.
Yeah. No, there's like, this is the whole idea. It's like this daring to dream for something better. Like sometimes it's scary to dream big and to say, hey, we could do things better, and it's easier just to be like, oh no, we have things as they are and that's it. But it's like this, like, we have to have that daringness to say, hey, things could be better and we could take better care of each other. And it's so possible. Like we can look at like your example of saying just 8 hours from New York City, and there's this massive difference. And for people in Detroit, like just across the border, like a 10-minute drive into Windsor, you have this massive difference. But then we look around the world, there's so many things going on in other countries where we could do so much better.
Totally.
What other things are you guys doing aside from vaccine for COVID response, Jagmeet? Because right now here in America, I think some people that are criticizing the shutdowns to a certain degree have legitimate grievances, especially because we aren't we're telling people to shut down, but then we're not giving them money because Mitch McConnell is holding that back. And I want to know how different that is in Canada.
Yeah. So listen, from the beginning of this, we said there's no way you can shut things down or ask people to stay at home if they don't have money to put food on the table. So we basically set up a thing. We were in a minority scenario, so we've basically fought to make this happen. It was kind of our initiative to get $2,000 to everybody who needed it a month. $2,000 a month to everyone who needed it, and we got that out the door. CERB, exactly. And then there was nothing for a month, Alex, a month to everyone who needed it.
So wait, how many trillions did you guys have to give to corporations then? Because that's how it works here in America, where the Republican Party will only allow it to happen if corporations get like a couple trillion.
No, we gave no trillions. Well, I mean, in fairness, actually, Trudeau did give like a bunch of billions to banks, to big banks,
and to the oil and gas sector,
and to the oil and gas.
Oh, cool. So you guys do that too, because we bailed out Exxon's
I don't do that. I'm not about that.
No, I'm not saying you guys. I just meant like the Canadian government as a whole.
Yes, totally. But the other thing is, that was. So the other thing is, we said, okay, so that program was in place. It was good. We fought for it. Then we found that some people were earning a little bit of money, like a couple $100 a month, and they were automatically denied. So we fought to allow people to earn up to $1,000 a month and still apply for it, which was, I think, a very dignified thing to do. So we got that. And then we finally got help for students. So students were totally ignored in this. So if you were in university or college or, any sort of post-secondary, you got no help. And so what we did is we put in place a special benefit for students so they could also apply and get help. We wanted them to get the same $2,000 a month, but they got we had to compromise with the Liberals, and they got $1,600 a month, which is still pretty good. Like, it was good support.
And
but,
the BC NDP gave us an additional $1,000 on top of that. If you happen
That's
to
right.
British Columbia.
Okay, now I feel like you guys are flexing. Like at first I wanted to know.
Hey, we just had a baby and it was free. We stayed in the hospital for like 4 days and it was totally fine.
Oh crap! Server closed due to room inactivity. Okay, I'll start again. Don't worry. We got
running around in circles, enjoying our chat.
Yeah, it was my fault. Here, I'll restart it. Actually, should we change maps, or do you guys want to? Are you guys comfortable with other maps, or are you not familiar with any of them?
Let's do a new map. Let's do a new map. We haven't done it.
Let's do Polis.
No way. Oh, Polis. Yeah.
No shot.
Yeah, we're not doing.
I've never done another map. Let's do it.
I've never done a map, but I'll do it. I'll try it.
Wait, we should.
Thank you, Natalie.
We shouldn't do
be a good time.
Y map, right? Y map is Mira, right? Polis is the winter map.
Polis is the open one, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Polis is
fun.
actually pretty cool. I think you guys will like it.
You're gonna put it in the chat, though, right?
Yeah, of course. Hold on. I got caught up with your Canadian government.
No, it was a good chat. I enjoyed that. I feel like we gotta do like maybe an Instagram live or something in the future. We're gonna do some cool chat like this. Me and Alex. If Alex is on.
Oh yeah, let's do an IG live. I mean, I think it's so important because we say.
I feel like cool kids are gonna hang out with one another, and I'm just over here like, yeah.
It's just a rallying call across the world.
Yeah, you guys do that.
In the United States, and it's so important to communicate. And I think in talking to you shows this and does this, that another world is possible. And not only is it possible, but that it exists.
It exists. That's the thing, right? And then we look at. Go on.
Oh no! And then in other places.
I mean, I'm still proud that we did that. Like, we did this.
Yeah.
We did
So many
this.
places in the U.S. It exists like a 3-hour drive.
Yeah.
Away from people who are saying it's impossible.
Totally.
It's nuts.
Totally.
We're waiting on 2 more people.
About that.
By the way.
Okay. Yeah, there's something really powerful about that. We also look to like our goal is to kind of take it further. So we look at like, and you mentioned New Zealand. New Zealand actually has that universal pharmacare that we're looking for. Or we look at Sweden and Finland and Norway and how they approach, criminal justice and say like, it's not about putting people in jail for a long period of time, but instead the focus is really on rehab and rehabilitation, and then they have better outcomes, like less crime, and instead of focusing on punishment, it's about, okay, well, how do we build a safer community really? What's the evidence? And there's a lot of cool things.
Yeah, in Portugal they decriminalized the Portugal model.
Real time.
Yeah, exactly.
Decrim all drugs.
Yep.
And,
Guys, I have a question. It's a very general question.
Go for it.
What do you guys think? Do you guys think that there are any like sources or advice to give to young people that are interested in learning more about politics? It's like a personal thing for me. I've always wanted to, but I've never known like what's the best direction, or if there's better areas to go to.
I would say follow AOC on Twitter, Instagram, and boom. That's an easy way there. If y'all in Canada, maybe follow me. But
I don't know. There's some brilliant leftist commentators out there. I think. Who knows?
Like the Serfs, maybe.
Yeah, the Serfs. There's some other people who talk about politics too. Like Natalie.
I just watch Hasan stream all day. That's basically been my rise up into the politics scene.
One way that I kind of got engaged when I was younger was, and I think it can be less controversial, like it'll spark a little less debate, is that if you encourage young people to actually kind of dive into the stories of historical figures that you admire. I remember I first became aware of just the political landscape in general because I got obsessed with, for some reason, the Civil War and the Underground Railroad when I was like in the 3rd or 4th grade. And so, whether it's really encouraging people to dive into the histories of people like Martin Luther King, etc., beyond just like what you learn in school, because these people had really fascinating and sometimes really crazy stories. And I think it's a really great way for young people and kids especially to dive in without having to get engaged in like the super nasty contemporary politics, at least here in the US.
I think that's a good
Also, I
take.
can't believe no one said this already, but like, watch ContraPoints. She is like amazing.
I did. I said it. Wait.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
Wait. Let's get
Wait, was
started
that
though. Are you guys
ContraPoints?
ready? Are you guys ready for some more gaming? Because I'm trying to
Okay,
murder
yeah.
people. You know, I'm trying to murder some
Yeah,
folks.
let's do it.